could serve them better, anything else that they feel like they're limited to. So pretty much that gives you a alternate way to um, change things, if that makes any sense the way I'm explaining it.
Yeah.
It, it's hard to it's hard to explain it because it's an experience. And usually when I work with people and I do a lot of like demonstrations in education, most of the people are not like really in um, they can't even recognize that outer state of being where the mind is open to learning or to different experiences or there's no limits or anything. um, because that happens on different times. You can be in like the best time when the mind is open to alternate possibilities. I'll give that as example. It's in distress. Like when you're in distress, there's something that opens up and your mind uses all the possibilities around you to help you get out of this distress situation, to learn something else or to do something. Or like, there's stories that mothers pick up like heavy cars when their kid it's pin underneath it because the mind clicks and something else triggers on that moment, and they almost have like a superhuman abilities, which everyone has with the power of the mind.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's you go through that experience in every day when you're learning new things or you're getting um, new experiences or new information, and you're not realizing it. And a lot of people use that um, as alternative to, like, say, sell you into things or to get you into do something. And some people use it as like a direct, like in a direct way where they tell you like us on Facebook, smash the button, and they give you just direct commands where you just kind of follow because you're used to, or if there's a pattern or something else that's going on, that's usually it. But once you realize that you have that key and you get into outer state of being, then you know how to go back to it or you recognize it, and then you have a lot more control and you're more empowered to not follow or do something else that other people might want you to do. And I like about that, you were saying that somebody else was able to get you in a trance, and you realize when you're getting in a trance. So once you start doing that and daily basis and everything, then you can realize like, oh, okay, I'm in the state where I can, do something and use that state for something else when that happens.
Yeah. Well, it's so funny when you were saying that people use words to get you to do
So
something. I'm
that's it
thinking,
pretty much in a nutshell. It can be tricky to explain because it's more of a experience. It's kind of like, right,
am I just
yeah.
delayed?
So usually it's, but you're on and off, but that's okay. Like I think yeah, I can hear you. You're okay. It just freezes from time to time. Sometimes that happens to me too, but it's all like connection, other things like it, which is okay. Like um, we're still getting the message across, if that makes any sense.
Well, can you hear what I'm saying right now? Yeah, I'm very delayed. Okay. Anyway, I'm just going to say this because
Yep.
I think that what you were talking about with people like using words to get other people to do things, right? I think of neuro linguistic programming, and I use it to only teach people to affirm themselves. But it is really important that you understand that there is so much power with thought and word, and that you do have the ability to create limitlessly when you break free from your belief system that you can't. And that I think is very helpful too. So I love that you do, you know hypnotherapy, like you hypnotize people to help them break free. And the thing that I like about your process is you let people know that they still have to do the work. Guys, you can't just go to a hypnotist and expect that you're going to have all this stuff cleared out and life's going to be easy. That's not reality. And I think, unfortunately, we live in a society where people want the quick fix. They want the fast way of getting their needs met and don't
That's right.
recognize that it takes discipline and awareness and effort consistently to change the experience that we're having. And you and I experience that every day. We have to be disciplined in our thinking. We have to be disciplined in our reactions and curious. And that's really important for people to understand is Yanko is definitely a tool to help open you up to new possibilities and experiences, but you still have to take action and do the work to get that experience you're looking for. You look incredibly serious.
Right. Yep.
This is wild. There's such a delay that I'm just watching you look super duper serious. And as you process whatever it is that's going on. But since I have the floor, guys, and
Right.
clearly we're having technical difficulties, I'm just going to say, you know, I do very similar work to Yanko, except for I don't hypnotize you. I just literally challenge the hell out of you. I tell people I got them like a fish. And I think it's really important that we recognize that, you can't get a bargain price for living a well lived life. It takes making choices, taking action, being honest with yourself, so that way you can truly experience life the way you want to experience it rather than the way you are. And something that Yanko said that I understand, the universe is going to give you opportunities to change. When you're in suffering, our soul is not meant to suffer. It's meant to know joy and peace. So if you're suffering long enough, the universe is going to provide you with an
Right.
opportunity. My sister passing away, an unexpected car accident, the loss of a child, the again, the experiences are limitless, but they're all opportunities to help you examine what it is you're sitting in and ask yourself, do I want to continue to go along this path? And if you are miserable, if you are numbing out, if you are apathetic to what it is you experience in your day-to-day life, that should be a key indicator that you're not living to your full potential, that you're not stretching yourself, that you're living in fear, and that you will be called upon to make a change eventually so that you can hopefully shift out of those experiences into one that is more joyful. And when you are more joyful, to Yanko's point, you are limitless, because when you're in joy, you're connected with joy. And that connection is incredible. It's powerful. All right, I'm deferring to you, Yanko, unless
That's
you want
right.
me to keep talking.
No, that's okay. Like, hopefully this will come up good on the end because of intermediate connection issues and other things. But you're right on the money. Like, it's not a magic pill. It's not something that just happens. It's a tool. It's like anything else in life. It gives you another ability to better yourself in a way that you wanted to. Um, so, either hypnosis, or it could be, Reiki, it could be sound bath, because like music can also do the work. I even seen people, when once they enter that outer state of being, and usually that slows down the conscious process, and the conscious kind of steps aside and kind of observe what's going on. then that gives the ability for the whole mind to engage and start doing what needs to be done that the mind was preventing it from happening in the first place. So, sometimes people can enter that state of like listening to a music and they can start crying for no particular reason because there's something that's getting readjusted or there's some kind of emotion that's getting released, whatever else is going on. So it's not like a cure for all and everything, but it's an alternate tool to help you get to your goal of whatever you're going to and makes things a little bit easier. If I can use an analogy with something, it's probably like maybe you can get an operation without an aesthetic, but it'll be much better if you have an aesthetic because you're not going to feel the pain as much.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's still
Well,
going to give you the
something
ability to do.
no,
Go ahead. Sorry.
something that you said that I want to touch upon for anybody who is like maybe hypnosis isn't for me. The reality is our thinking mind is constantly going, going, going. And if you're in
Hmm.
anxiety, right, you're just say you're trying to solve a problem and you're overthinking it. You're not able to come up with insight, a knowing of how to
Hmm.
solve that problem because you're stuck in this loop of the problem rather than the solution. And so
Right.
much like Yanko's saying alternate states of reality, I tell people just get out of your thinking, move your body, go for a walk. To Yanko's point, play music. Um, do something completely different. When I did business coaching, I constantly would tell my business clients don't work dogmatically hour after hour. Work for an hour on a problem, get up, go outside, go for a walk, connect with nature, because that allows your brain to take a break from this like constant like turning of the gears. And in those moments, that's where you will
Right.
get insight. That's when you get those aha moments like, I know the answer. And so that is something
Exactly.
every single person has the ability to tap into at any given moment. It's that you have to give yourself permission to get out of your mind, to get out of that loop of thinking. And that is the practice. That's the work that both Yanko and I have to do for ourselves because we have egos and we still get caught in it. And then we need to like check ourselves and get out of that.
Yeah, it's not that we're at least I don't think of myself that way. I don't think that like I'm better or worse than anybody else. I'm just like everybody else. Um, and and um, and the language they usually call it a pattern interrupt when you're stuck in a loop or in a certain pattern and you break that pattern that gives you the ability to break the loop and get out of it.
Yep.
Like you said, going in nature, thinking outside the box, whatever. You're not thinking, you're doing something else. Maybe you were reading, then you stop reading, then you get off, you do a little bit of cooking, or you walk the dog, you do something else, you stop that pattern of like looping in your brain and getting you there. And then like early on in life I didn't really recognize that. I was doing a lot of um, programming and computer, learning and other things like it. And sometimes I'll be stuck in whatever I'm programming at, say 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'm thinking I'm gonna wrap it up. I'm gonna wrap it up, and I'm keep doing it, and I'm stuck in the same way of thinking. And now I'm looking at the time, and I'm getting tired, and it's 3 a.m. And I'm thinking, oh, I'm almost done. I'm gonna keep on going, and then it's 4 o'clock, and then I'm like, oh, I'm almost there. I'm feeling it, like I'm almost there. And it's 5 o'clock, and then I just go like I'm completely brain dead at this point.
Yep.
Then I go to sleep. I break the pattern. Then I wake up in the morning, and it's like right there, like it was right there the entire time. I didn't see it. I wasted all this time. I could have get some mental relaxation or something else, but I had to learn it the hard way. So after that, I was like, okay, I gotta break this. because I'm too focused on whatever I'm thinking, and just go for a walk, do something else, do some shopping, come back, and then I'll have the ideas, and everything else will keep going.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
that's with everything in life. And I think that it's important that people recognize. Yesterday I have a community called Having the Tough Conversation. And it teaches people all different tools and strategies, specifically the importance of speaking your truth. But um I was listening to somebody say, I don't have a choice. I don't have a choice. That's programming within itself. You always have a choice. The choices may not be easy. It may be two shitty choices, but you always have a choice. And when you tell
Right.
yourself you don't have a
Yep.
choice, you're disempowering yourself. And then you're feeling miserable.
Right.
And then that's where apathy kicks in, because now you feel like, well, I don't have a choice, so I might as well accept my fate in life, and I'm just going to live this way and be
Right.
miserable. And sadly, I see way too many people live that way when they don't have to. And the reality is you always have a choice. You have a choice to get up and walk. You have a choice to ask for help. You have a choice to quit your job. You have a choice to leave your marriage. It's not easy, but it's a choice. So you can't disempower yourself by saying you
Right.
don't have a choice, because we always have a choice. And the other thing is again, you got to take action. Like, if you have an insight, if you know what you need to do, you can overthink doing the thing. And so it's, do I need to drink water? Don't think about, oh my God, I need to drink water. Kerri told me I need to drink water, but I haven't drank water, so I'm not drinking water. Right? Instead, I need to drink water. Drink the water. Like, just drink the water. And it's so
Exactly.
simple, but
Yep.
it's so hard for people to recognize that you really do have the power. And the other thing I will say is, it kills me when people, and I hear this all the time. I don't like change. You change every time you breathe. You change the minute you get up. You move from one position, you move to another. You change every time you wake up. You're changing. Change is a natural part of the human experience. Everything is cyclic and everything is moving. You're constantly changing. So, for anybody who finds themselves stuck in this narrative that I don't like change, really ask yourself, is it that you don't like change, or are you struggling with the unknown? And that's possible, and that's okay. But don't don't lie to yourself and say you don't like change. Ask yourself, what is it about change that causes me anxiety? And then look at that, so that way you can get to the deeper root of the problem, rather than staying stuck because you, quote unquote, don't like change.
Yeah, I see the same thing with the people I work with, and I love that you have that community with the tough conversations so much, because a lot of the times you just have to have tough conversations. It's not pleasant, but it's it's something that needs to happen. It's something that needs to be done, and and let's face it, we're all adults, and we should be able to have tough conversations. We should be able to sit down with somebody and have a conversation that needs to happen,
Yeah.
and have that conversation. So I love that you have that kind of community, that gives the ability to people to have the conversations they need to have, and so they can move on and not be stuck on whatever they think, they can go through, or just because they're avoiding having a tough conversation or something else that's going on in life. So I love that about it.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna tell you where that came from and how
Yeah.
that transpired is, I I was born with verbal diarrhea of the mouth. I didn't always have tact, but I have always spoken my truth. And as a result, I was able to achieve really great things, guys. I didn't finish high school. I was a CEO in corporate America. There were just so many things that, had I not been able to ask for my needs to be met, I wouldn't have had them met. And I also learned that I was going to have the tough conversations so I could learn who couldn't meet my needs. And the reason a lot of people don't have those conversations is because they know when they ask their husband to work out with them over year after year, their husband's not going to. And then once they have that conversation, now they're faced with different choices. And so people just don't have the tough conversations because they recognize that they may not get what it is they're hoping for. And the important thing is how do you learn who can meet your needs, who can help you with the problem you're having, who can support you in a way that feels really nurturing and conducive to your needs if you don't start to ask for them, if you don't start to share them. And then most people struggle with having the tough conversations with themselves, which is why I have this community, because I teach all things. It's all things mental health, physical health, and energetic health. I teach tapping, meditation, the importance of fit. Like there's
Right.
so much in it, but the
Yep.
underlying reason is I teach people how to communicate so that their message is clear, so that their message is always kind. It needs to be delivered kind no matter what, and that it also offers an opportunity to educate. Because here's the thing is even if the person you're sharing your message with doesn't receive it the way you had hoped, you're planting seeds. And that's all we can do. We are all meant to teach each other. And when you plant seeds, who knows, 20 years from now, the conversation you had with a person may click and they're like, oh, wow, I finally get it. And then they take action. And so that is so, I am impassioned about it. And the reason is I will never forget how many successful people in business, and I'm talking about multimillionaires, like super affluent people who have run massive businesses, didn't have the tools to have tough conversations with me, so they left me on red. They just didn't respond to anything. And at first I was really offended. I'm like, what the heck? These are supposed to be my mentors. These are supposed to be people that I admire. But what I realized is even these people who are people in position of power don't know how to deliver a message clearly and kindly, so that they just don't say anything at all. And the problem for me with that, guys, is our brains, our minds need to have a complete story. It needs to. That's just the way it operates. So if I reach out to Yanko and ask him for support for something and he leaves me on red, and I don't have the tools that I have now. Now I'm making up a story. Oh, I must have pissed off Yanko. Yanko doesn't love me. I'm bad for asking for help, right? I don't know. There's a million ways to make up a story, but the reality is you were gonna make up a story. And so I really wanted to provide people with the opportunity to learn how to have the tough conversation. So one, you don't have to make up a story, and two, you're not leaving the person on the other side hanging to make up their own story,
Mm.
because 99%
Yep.
of the time those stories are disempowering, they're unkind, and they make us feel like crap.
Yep. Yep. And and that usually happens because of the mental conversations that are happening in everybody's head.
Yep.
That just happens automatically. And I like to tell people that just because you have a thought, it doesn't mean you have to act on it. A lot of the thoughts that are coming to your mind are repetitive thoughts. So you get something, or you watch something, and you read something, and that'll keep coming back, and keep circling through the mind until it gets resolved. So you don't have to take the thoughts and believe that your thoughts are actually you, and act on them and take them as like just they're just thoughts like anything else. So yeah, I love that you have this kind of community and support in allowing people the ability to be able to have the learning tools
Yep.
to how to have tough conversations and be able to um, have some kind of clear communication, I would say, because I think language, it's very limiting. It's not although it could be a really good tool to pass ideas on, but ultimately, um, you can say one thing and then the other person on the other end will receive it, compare it to their experiences, and bring a meaning to it. And you can try to communicate a meaning in a one way that makes sense to you, but the other person on the receiving end can totally misinterpret the whole conversation and take it a different way based on whatever else they have, like information on their head, um,
Yeah.
and 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 take it and turn it into something else. So yeah, and I just it's a good thing to have, advise my viewers to also come and check that community that you created there. If anybody's looking for um, expanding on the learning skill of communication and having tough conversations.
I love that. Well, so with that, it's about that time to wrap it up. So, guys, again, Yanko and I, as much as we love each other and we truly love having these conversations, this is meant to be in service of you guys. It really is. So if there's something that we brought up that piqued your interest or just brought curiosity, or, even if you had a negative reaction to it, like it felt, ugh, that's cool. Reach out to us because that gives us the ability to dial in and explain it better and or help support you in a meaningful way, which is really what he and I are very passionate about. You can reach me on all platforms, and my website is kerrylewis.coach. If you're interested in the community, it's $22 a month. You get 8 sessions a month, so 2 a week if you want. And the reason I did that is there's just not enough mental health tools available, and it's important to me that I offer something that everybody can get access to. And if you can't pay for it, let me know and you don't have to. Like, yes, $22 a month is doable. However, I never want people to not get their needs met. And if that's going to help you heal, then awesome. Where can people find you, Yanko?
Yeah, people can find me pretty much on all major social platforms: Facebook, YouTube, um, even X on Twitter. Um, but mostly my website, which I'm going to roll on the bottom of this recording now. And would love to hear from you. I personally would love to hear your thoughts, either positive or negative, and in anything that you like to share. Let's get engaged. Let's have some conversations. Let's see how we can be of service to each other. Like, what can we do to help, and take it from there. And I just want to add one last thing, and we're gonna say goodbye after that. We're always on Fridays here, streaming live, which gives the ability to engage with you and be able to answer any questions, um, and just have conversations. Every Friday, 1 o'clock, it's 1 o'clock Central, 2 o'clock Eastern, and 11 o'clock Pacific time. And with that, bring it back to you, and we're going to wrap it up.
Deep gratitude for you guys' time. Be kind and
Any last
gentle.
thoughts, Kerri? Or
I was trying to talk. I don't think it's going. So I'm going to just leave it at y'all's rock. Be kind to yourself and we'll connect soon.
bye bye.